Hello Capricorn, this is your extended reading. So I feel like this part of your reading is still a little bit mysterious to me, but we'll see where it wants to go. There are two things that are, being highlighted, but still a little bit too, uh, it's almost like a fog, right? I cannot really clear or clarify exactly what it is that I'm seeing, but I feel like it's part of what you are going through, perhaps, in having this two perspective kind of view, right? From your own life and from your own self and from what makes your world and how you can perceive the world that you knew from this new lens that feels like things are, it's like they're not so absolute, right? It's like well, things are not tight. It's like this net can be, it's like it's not something that is immovable. It's actually something that is, there is space in between these elements that give give these parts or these components space to move and rearrange themselves. And I feel like they are part of this new perception or this new worldview that you are just entering now, right? I feel like this is very new, I want to say. And what is coming very profoundly here, I want to say, is that things might be upside down for you, because there are, well, of all of your cards here, we have two major arcana, and the two major arcana actually fell upside down. And this is interesting because these are significant cards that are, it's almost like they are inviting me as a reader to see them from a new perspective. So, and that is, before I show you the cards, that is one of the things that is, highlighted here for you, Capricorn. But the other thing is also like this narrowing down. It's almost like, well, maybe it's connected to the video that I posted yesterday about sharing a simple tip and this message of understanding things in a more simple concept, right? Things that may have sound absurd, like this kind of understanding of reality, right? Of things that, have their own place, have their own individuality. It's like impossible for two things to take like the same spot, right? It's like they cannot occupy the same space. But this is what is being defied here, I want to say. At least it's almost like you are considering, like, okay, so this is what I've known my entire life, right? This is what I have taken as an absolute truth, an immovable thing, something that, makes my world something that is, well, reliable, but also like, it's almost like I'm seeing it as a safety net, like a net in which like I can, well, you, right? You can find some safety or some comfort, right? Like a safety net. But once you understand that, they are not truly woven together, it's like there is space in between. So things are not tightly together. It's like they are close, but not, it's like they can move, they can change, right? And this is the reason why your world is changing. And I want to say your world is changing, especially beginning with this card, the Chariot, and it's upside down. Well, the way that I saw this, don't look at this black part here. Look at the wheel and this curved line going down here, right? So what I was seeing here was things that might have been perceived as, bump on the road, or an obstacle, or some sort of an impediment or some kind of blockage in your way, right? It's like it no longer has that effect. It's like it's almost like you're sliding down, right? What I'm seeing here is like this very natural movement. And that is the interesting thing. It's like, you know, if you are defying gravity, if you are defying the laws of physics, I feel like somehow it's like things get easier in a sense. It's almost like it's like just like gravity, right? It's like you are having this, it's almost like this chain of realizations. Well, it's part of this new perspective, right? It's all instantaneous. It's like what used to be something that you had a hard time with is no longer. It's like it's not even affecting you, right? And that is the difference that you're seeing now from this outside perspective, but also this inner perspective, right? So this card, yes, is talking about movement, but it's talking about like, it's almost like following the movement of gravity. It's like maybe you were trying to go against gravity, not knowing that that was what you were doing, right? But now that you are just allowing this question to come up, right? This possibility of, you know, what if physics are not defying our reality and there is another way of seeing it? It's like, it's almost like becoming friends with gravity. That is interesting because I feel like things become a lot more easier. And also there's something else talking about like becoming pleasurable, becoming something fun, something to be celebrated with the Six of Wands. And not alone, I want to say, Capricorn. This Six of Wands was looking like, what is the name of, you know, when in music concerts, you know, the musician jumps over the crowd and, you know, the crowd is like, you know, holding that musician up. And it's like, it's interesting because it's reminding me of a card that I cannot remember her name, but it's the well, her original name, Rebecca, from the Mana channel. Adelina, now she doesn't use her name anymore, that name, now she's using Rebecca. But anyways, so I remember she had this deck of the fairy deck, the fairy oracle, and there is a card where I feel like it's the pixie or the fairy pixie, I don't remember the name, but I remember that, you know, there is this group of people that are, you know, have their hands to the air and they are, you know, holding somebody. And this is what this card is talking about today. So I feel like once you become friends with gravity and things stop being so hard work or so it's like demanding, right? And things become easier and they move swiftly and softly and in a more favorable kind of way. I feel like it's almost like you meet people that confirm that to you, right? Or that elevate that sense that, yes, things in your life can be easy. Things in your life can happen in a way that is, you know, much more fun and uplifting, and it doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be, you know, rigid or structured in a way that restricts you. This is what this Four of Pentacles is talking about. It's like, it's almost like jumping over this speed bump or, you know, just sliding. It's almost like I'm seeing this, you know, working with gravity, making gravity work in your favor, right? Against fighting it. It's like you're not confronting it anymore. It's like you're not, it's almost like I'm seeing this Four of Pentacles as like somebody that is not locked into a room, but their incapacity to see beyond those walls make them believe that this is their, well, they are in this limited space, right? So they do not, it's almost like they do not try to go out of it. And this is what is happening here, right? In the first part, it's like this door opens up, and it's not just a doorway or a portal, right? It's like this staircase that allows you to see your own world from a it's not even like from the outside, it's also from another height, right? And I want to say, it's like it doesn't matter, it's not holding the concept of, you know, if you're going down, that you're going to see it from a lower perspective. If you're going up, you're going to see it from a higher perspective. It's just talking about like having a different point of view. And this allows you to see that the way that you used to do things, or the way that you even saw your world, right, restricted by four walls, or, you know, just as a metaphor, it's like you can celebrate that you are overcoming that restrictive kind of belief, you see? And that is incredible, because here comes the next major arcana that is upside down. So it's the Death card, right? And it's interesting because I don't know how long it's been that this card came upside down for the first time in a reading, and I can't remember which sign it was for, but I remember that this card came through, well, I want to say that this card, the Chariot, is the first time that I recall that it's coming upside down. So this is new to me as a reader. But this one here, especially coming after the Four of Pentacles, it's like coming out of restriction, coming out of, well, it feels like going through the hole of like through a keyhole, but also like the eye of a needle, right? It goes through a very narrow space. This is what this is talking about, firstly. But there's also this image that I was reminded from that reading that I've done a while back, talking about this boat that was sinking. I believe it was something about a sinking ship or something like that. You know, that, you know, the boat is turning. I can't remember which sign it was for. But here, I want to say that is this change in environment. It's almost like you're leaving the grounded earth and you're going into this more watery terrain where it's only like it's almost like you knew how to handle an earthy landscape, but now you're working your way through it in a more favorable kind of way, right? It doesn't have to be such a huge effort to contour it, or how to, you know, it's almost like that is interesting. Okay, what is coming through with this Chariot upside down? It's almost like you are navigating the landscape, but because you are reading the landscape in a different way, because you're no longer seeing it like this, right? It's like you're seeing the changes in the terrain in a way that even the small parts are perceived. So it's almost like okay, so maybe this remote viewing skill that you're just now finding out that you are that you have at hand, right, that you can explore, and that is helping you to navigate this earthy landscape that you have always traveled, but in such, I want to say, in such a weighed perspective, right? It's almost like you always had to make an extra effort to navigate this dense plane. But because of this remote viewing capacity that now you are discovering and you're developing, I feel like you are working the landscape using the laws that maybe you were so grumpy about, you know, that you knew were always there to restrict you, right? But now you are understanding how they work because you're seeing the tiny parts of it, and you're seeing that it's not locked in, right? As the Four of Pentacles that I mentioned, it's not locked in, it's not tied up. It's like you can navigate the in-between spaces. And so you can navigate even the, like, you know, the small rocks in front of you with this in a fun kind of way, right? Seeing it more as like an exploration instead of a difficulty, right? So going back to this ship, this, you know, I'm seeing this as, you know, the bottom of the ship, and this is the, what is the name of that thing? The motor part of it. I can't remember the name, but it's like there is something about changing terrains, right? Because you have understood that you are not restricted, right? So now that you have learned how to navigate this landscape from this completely other perspective, right? And things become easier and easier, and it's like this, well, it's like this fun exploration, right? It's not, you know, a heavy duty to do so. It's like it's fun to find out more of how you can explore gravity and how you can, you know, make these turns and follow the landscape and, you know, understand the difference, you know, in the land, in a sense, right? Outside of this, you know, limiting frontier that you inhabited first or before. But so now it's like it's almost like you're changing this mode of transportation, right? Because now you have learned how to direct your chariot, how to direct your wheel, your destiny, in a sense, right? Your vehicle in this earthy landscape. And now your challenge, in a way, or your desire to explore, is in another realm, a realm that it's not one that you dominate, I want to say. And this is where, you know, this interesting doubling of cards come in. So we have, you know, 6 and 4 and 6 and 4, the 6 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. So, you know, we have it's almost like I'm seeing you changing landscapes, really. It's like you are, well, first you realize that you can explore in a fun way beyond the limits that you thought you could, right? In this physical landscape, right? And then just thinking about the possibility, and I want to say, well, this is part of this card too, the 3 of Cups. It's like there is something that is just beginning to emerge, right? It's like this new, maybe a new sensation, maybe a new intuitive sense, or it's like just this new emotion that you want to explore too. And this is part of this upside down ship or upside down doorway. Or, you know, it's interesting that we were talking about the 9 of Pentacles being this stairway door, right? That, you know, it's like, it's really it doesn't matter if it's going up or down, right? It's like, it's just about this opportunity of seeing things from different heights, from different perspectives. So it's like the same here with this Death card upside down. When we go, you know, again, the 6 and the 4. So it's almost like, you know, this is the narrowing path that I'm seeing, especially because we're ending with the 2 of Pentacles, but we're going to get there. It's like there's something that is becoming perhaps obvious to you, right? That there is, well, I want to say something else also here. It's like this new exploration of a new landscape, a new terrain, a new realm, a new element perhaps, right? It's like it is also something that can be, what is that expression? Can be this funnel. It's like there is no escape, right? But I feel like it's not a question of escaping it. It's almost like it's fun to do so. It's like there is this invitation to explore this well, point of transition, right? Transition, I want to say, of territories, of landscapes, of places that you have been to, or emotions that you have felt. But it goes from this known ability to dominate something that you know that you are incredibly skillful, right? The Six of Pentacles. It's like, you know that whenever you are, inland, or whenever you are, steady on top of this earthy landscape, because now you have discovered that things can flow well, your life can flow in an easier way because you're not fighting against gravity. So it's like, that in this earth landscape, you have found some sort of balanced state, right? It's something that you, it's almost like you have crossed this boundary. It's like you had realized that there is no locking you in this room or in this limited space, right? It's like, it's about the exploration. This is what this six of, it's almost like I'm seeing friends inviting you to explore a new place, right? Or a new event, a new emotion perhaps, right? It's like, maybe you have never laughed so much with those people, and this is what they are, reminding you that life can be that easy, can be that fun. It doesn't have to be always so hard work, right? And so this is what you're finding, but it's almost like, now that you have upgraded your physical game, right? It's like, now that you know that you can drive your own vehicle with a lot more ability and ease here on earth, right? It's like, it brings you to this, it's almost like, it's like understanding your world and seeing that it's not going to crumble apart if you leave, if you go and explore a new terrain, a new city, a new landscape. And it doesn't have to be, that's the big part of this, it doesn't have to be like leaving your home to explore a new town, right? It's like, by going inward, which is exactly where we began this reading, right? It's like, this Four of Cups is talking about, like, see the same world in which you have inhabited your entire world, see it as limited, see it as restrictive, right? Thinking that you couldn't go beyond those walls. And now, knowing that you are not locked up, that you are not limited, that you are, that things are not caging you in, right? In fact, there is a lot of room for you to, just come out of it, right? With this doorway staircase. So it's like it's almost like you find reassurance within your own self navigation ability, right? Of this terrain that you already know. It's like, this terrain is familiar to you, but it's like discovering new things from your own hometown, right? It's like, you have lived your entire life in that same place, but thinking that you could only go to those certain places. And now it's like, you know, that there is more to explore, and going other places, not only physically, but also emotionally, it also brings you this reassurance that everything that you have explored in this physical domain, it's not going to be lost in a sense, right? It's not going to crumble apart, because maybe that was part of this safety net that I was seeing with this World card also. So the safety net is still there, but it's not, because now you understand that it's not, you know, this immovable thing. It's just this perception, right? So this allows you to want to explore a new territory, that it's not just going beyond what you have known, right? It's like, yes, you have gathered, you know, a few more steps outside of, you know, the places that you usually went to, but now is about exploring that same space, that same place, that same room, those same territories with a new emotional lens, with a new way of perceiving this same reality, which is not just in the physical way, but with this emotional, loving perception, right? And it's okay to start small, Capricorn, because with the Two of Pentacles ending here, this is where this it's like this bottleneck kind of sensation, this funnel that is happening. It's like you understand that if you leave things behind, right? Or even if you, and it's not even leaving physically, right? Remember, it's like leaving for an hour so that you can go deeply inside of you, right? In this hypnosis session, or in this dream work, or in this whatever it is, it's like, or in this remote viewing exercise, it's like leaving this physical reality, well, leaving your conscious perception of this physical reality and taking your conscious awareness to this other realm, right? That is part of what makes this also, right? It's like another layer that is part of this habitat of yours that maybe until now, before this desire to explore a new territory, right? A new realm of the same territory, right? It's like discovering a new layer that was always there in your room, in your vicinity, but you never had the eyes to see, perhaps, right? And now it's like, what I'm seeing here is like you're tiptoeing like very carefully, because one thing is like having this certainty, but another is actually, you know, going for it. And this is what I feel like you're started, like it's just the beginning, especially because at the bottom we have the Fool. So it's a new exploration definitely for you, Capricorn. And I want to say that because it's a different realm, maybe this emotional realm, it's like you don't want to lose the security that you have under your feet, right? This is what the Two of Pentacles is talking about. But the Fool is, well, just confirming to me, or, you know, highlighting to me and to you, Capricorn, that this is worth exploring. This is going to be exciting, right? This is going to be fun. And it's okay that you just, you know, you take your time to begin it, right? There is no rush. There is no, because ultimately you're not leaving anything behind. You're just having a new perception. So it's okay that you explore this, you know, just enjoying and tasting every drop of it, right? So I knew this was going to be a long one, because these, well, when they get like, the readings get so philosophical, and especially because of this remote viewing concept that is so new to me, well, it's part of this exploration to me too, right? It's like it's just beginning to come into form to me, or come into my own understanding of what is this possibility of having another perception, another way of seeing the same reality. And I feel like this is happening for you too, Capricorn. So it's okay to go little by little or step by step into this. So let's see what the astrological runes have to add to this. Okay. This is interesting because we have two earth signs, Taurus and yourself. And I feel like that happened this week, perhaps. What was the sign that, you know, the rune that came out was their sign also? I can't remember, but it happened this week. So it's interesting because we have two earth signs, right? So yes, it's emphasizing again this new perception that you're having about your external world, right? It's like looking with new eyes, with a new set of eyes to your own physical world, to your own physical reality, to your own possessions, to your work, to your creations, to your money, to your food, to your body, right? So Taurus this is incredible. Okay, so what I'm receiving now coming from this Taurus is all about the senses of the body. But I want to say that, you know, maybe you have a Taurus friend, because I'm sensing like they are part of this group that is, you know, well, supporting you for one, but also stimulating you to see things as, you know, see perhaps things that you would perceive as, you know, before as challenges, but, you know, seeing these challenges now as something fun to be conquered or explored and even overcome, right? So maybe you do have a Taurus friend that is as earthy as you. They know, they perceive this reality very similarly to you. It's like they can understand your concerns for that safety net, right? For the old way of seeing things that is a little bit more straightforward and a little bit more less complex, I want to say, or just more mundane, right? So I want to say, and I want to say something. Oh my God, so many things coming. There is, what I'm perceiving here, there is this age gap, right? Taurus seems to be younger and you seem to be older. So the reason I'm saying that, it's almost like you are navigating your own life, but now listening to and it's not even the advice coming from this Taurus. I feel like it's more like you are sensing what they always have sensed, right? It's like if they have this ability to sense the world with their heightened five senses of the body, and you couldn't do that. It's like now and it's not like you're listening to them, it's like you're giving it a shot, you are experimenting with it. And this is talking about like it's like you are realizing, Capricorn, that you are even more capable to develop things in you that you thought you weren't. But that comes from somebody that sees the world in a very similar kind of way, right? And maybe you're doing this together. It's interesting because I feel like there is something going on like that is very easy to be perceived in your physical world. That is the reason why I'm saying it's like the places that you go and the people that you just live with, right? And that you are together most of your time. So they are part of this too. They are part of this tangible reality that maybe you took for granted. I don't want to go there, but it's like that was your safety net, right? And that now you're having this other perspective. So I wish that, you know, that could have been translated in a more simple way, although it's still complex to me. And, you know, inserting this new concept and finding it very interesting and instigating and, you know, very complementary to the things that I was already seeing in your reading. That is a new terrain for me entirely. So thank you, Capricorn, for giving me that opportunity. But also I hope, yes, it was insightful to you too and helpful in any way possible. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.